I was speaking recently, okay, about 2 days ago, with a bunch of kids. You guys were really young. I don't know, some of them were like 6, others were like 15. And there's all these mothers around and stuff. And I talked to all different kinds of people, all different ages. So I'm sitting there trying to think. I had this monumental task of trying to, celebrate the birth of the Prophet with these kids. And then there's the moms, and then there's like all these age groups, and then they're all looking at me like, like, do a good job because we want this to really work out. They have Christmas, and we want this to be better than Christmas. They're looking at me like, make it work. So I'm just like, I don't really get nervous, doing what I do. I don't really. But that day I was nervous because I was like, man, they're gonna remember me. Remember that Imam, the crazy Imam? Oh, Mom, I'm scarred for life. Those things he said. And alhamdulillah, you said that, you tasted the sweetness. So I asked these kids, I said, I just came out, like, calmly and stuff. And I adjusted the microphone because it was way too low. I'm like 6'2", so it was like, all right. I'm screwing the thing down, and they're looking at me like, who's this guy? So I said, raise your hand if you don't like candy. And they're like, who's this guy quiet? They're like, what? Yeah, raise your hand if you don't like candy. So then I said, all right, if you like candy, raise your hand. And it was like it was just like a, what I'm saying? It was like a 10 hut, it was like, they went up. I said, how many of you guys would eat candy all day long if you could? And they were like, their moms were like looking at them, and they were like, I was like, what if you could eat so much candy and you would never throw up, and never get sick? And you get, nobody's ever. You guys have Coastal Creamery here?
Yeah, it's on State Street.
No one's ever gone there, right? Dude, come on. Cold and sweet? Yeah, it's a good combination. So anyway, I got their attention. So I said to them, I said, the way that your tongue savors the sweetness that's in candy is the way that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they loved his company. Their hearts enjoyed his company. The companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, enjoyed his company the way that children love candy. And then you hear all the moms go, because they were like, cool, he didn't come in with some weirdness, but I think it was good. But when you taste something sweet and you enjoy it, it's like all of your inhibitions drop. You realize someone's nice, for example. At first you're like that's kind of a mean demeanor, man, and then he says, "Assalamualaikum." He was just thinking about something and it changed. You drop your guard. You're not objective to them. And then when you get to know someone more and more, you realize that you have so much in common. Like, oh, this person's from I don't know, from Tibet. And you're like, man, Tibetans are crazy. They're like all Buddhists, and I don't know anything about Buddhism. I think they're crazy. And you start having this anxiety attack. And then you realize that, he's Buddhist, he's from Tibet, but he also likes to eat, he loves Cajun food. We went there today, it was delicious. That hot sauce was not even hot, man. Like etouffee, whatever it is. God, you guys are making me think I was gonna get a fire extinguisher. I ate it and I was like, next. But you realize that the more you get to know people, like, look, man, this is really simple. It's about human beings. It's just about human beings. This is about people. It's about, and most importantly, it's about love. The Prophet, it's about love. The Prophet Muhammad, it's about love. Because Allah, this is Allah's property. Like, you are Allah's property. I'm Allah's property. You're Allah's property. Everyone walking outside is Allah's property. God's property. How can we say that we love God and we don't care about his property? How can that be? How can we claim that God doesn't care about his property just because we don't? We say, oh, he's a disbeliever, he's a believer. Okay, that's legal talk. That's the Quran, that's legal talk. As far as you're concerned, unless you're in a court of law, and this is like a Sharia state and all that stuff, you need to shut up. Like, these are people. You're a person. These are your countrymen. People that you grew up with, probably. I went to Pakistan, like, my first year as a Muslim, I went there. Yeah. Chai wada. I was in Pakistan, it was crazy. It was out of control. Back India was worse though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say because you. It was no. There was a connection. Totally forgot it. Almost like anyway, I went there. I went to Pakistan, and I'm thinking like, the first place I went to was India. Okay, I don't think, inshallah, I don't think I'm a racist. I don't think so. I don't think I have it even in me. But when I come outside the airplane, it was the first time I ever saw all brown people. You know, I was like, it was a shock because I'm American. I'm used to seeing everybody. You know, and it was just like brown. You know, and then we drove in a '57 Chevy. You know, the taxis are 50. I don't know. This is India. Yeah, in India, the taxis are '57 Chevys, like originals. Yeah, and the engines held together by like whatever they could find, paper clips, rubber bands. I don't know. And the guy in front of us was driving the car, or he was driving on the other side because they're British. Somehow they're British '57 Chevys.
Colonization.
Yeah, but they're '57 Chevy. Those are American cars, man. I don't even know how they just took it and went over that side. But he was sitting in front of me and he was rocking back and forth. Oh! I was like, what's going on? He jumps over the seat with me because his shins were getting burned because the engine was burning his shins. You know? You know what I'm saying? Like, but all the funny things that happened, I realized, like, you know, within a week or two that, man, we're so much the same. We're just the same, you know? And everybody wants happiness. You know? Like, raise your hand if you yourself do not want happiness. Because if you do, I have a place you need to go. They have a little white room. You know? Do you know anyone who doesn't want to be happy? Now the question is, do they know where happiness lies? Right? That's the question. Where is happiness? So, getting back to this idea of, that's the situation that we're all in. Everybody wants to be happy. And also, on top of that, we are all the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're God's creation. And if I claim to love God, I have to have care and concern for His creation. And why? Why? Because when I look at Joe at my job, for example, like when I first started working there, Joe and me didn't really work out that well, but now like we have lunch breaks together. You know, when I look at Joe, who do I see? I see myself. I see, he starts to tell me a little bit about his private life, a little bit about his home life. It's not always that great. I can relate to that. So it's love. You start to literally blend with that person. You become best friends with someone. Why? Because you literally start to blend with them. The lines between you and them start to blur. And that's the reason why we have companionship. That's why human beings, we're not solo creatures. You know, unless you're like the Unabomber. Which most of us I don't think are, inshallah. Because this is a masjid, and we would never do that. You know, in case you're listening. No, but it's about love. If I was to take Abdul Malik's Volvo, it's a nice Volvo by the way, heated seats, nice. I told him like, yeah man, listen, I'm gonna go to Chicago, and I'll be back. He's like, okay, just be back before the talk tomorrow. Yeah, no problem. I come back and I've rolled it a few times, right? The doors are falling off, the heated seats don't work anymore. There's some kind of weird substance in the leather that he hopes isn't najis, right? Not clean. And I come back and I jump out of the car and I go, man, it's been a minute, man. I love you, man. He'd be like, you love me? Yeah, man, what's up? Why are you looking crazy at me? Look at my car. No, I know, I love you. Is he gonna believe that I love you? I'm not even saying sorry. I'm not even acting like it's not a big deal. You'd be like, dude, you're taking advantage of my hospitality. How can you say that you love me? Right. Well, the same thing, like that's God's property out there. And it's being destroyed. God's property is being tainted and it's being destroyed, it's being molested, treated badly. In the worst way, because people do not know why they even exist. They don't know why they exist. They don't know for who it is they exist, and they're constantly being bombarded with ads and commercials to buy more products until the day that they die. Even the casket itself costs you $7,000 to die. Good God, man. It's all about trying to steal and get the most out of